Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. It's Self-Care Wednesday. Self-Care Wednesday! I don't know why I always say we. Again, I think I say we because it's alive, so people do pop on, but I have the Self-Care Ritual deck and the stress reduction essentials deck. I love these. We've been using these the last couple of weeks, but first I'll go with our usual guidance cards for the morning as I wait for people to pop on. For those who might be watching later, but the guidance cards are kind of fun anyways. So if you're looking for that quick answer, or just advice or whatever, or ideas and stuff, then this is the moment. On Fridays, I do actually do a full perspective of doing oracle readings, so that's always kind of fun. It's kind of fun to end the week with, something fun and mystical and out there. So anyways, this one was on the top, so let's start there. Okay, let's see here. Ooh, do the shadow work necessary to heal your soul. That one popped out of the deck. So, do the shadow work necessary to heal your soul. I've been through shadow work. Okay, so I know a lot of people, when they read up on shadow work and they start to see what it entails, they get scared, they get nervous. I'm here to tell you, from my own perspective, that it's scary, but it was 100% the best thing I have ever done for myself in my entire life. It really kind of pushed me towards this new chapter that I'm living. And by new chapter, I mean, I have learned that I can carry my story without carrying my pain. And by that, I mean, I don't have to be in touch with my pain anymore from what has happened to me in the past, to effectively tell my story now, to help others, to guide others through what they might be going through, to show them that there is, a light at the end of that tunnel. And that was, doing shadow work was one of the big hurdles or obstacles I had to hurdle. And it was amazing. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever done. Was it painful? Yes. Was it hard? Oh, heck yeah. But was it worth it? 100% all the way around. Sorry. It's going to be hot today, so my hair is driving me nuts. Be you, not someone else. Own your style. Own who you are now. So apparently these are making a comeback, but when I made these cards, they had not made their comeback yet. So anyways, be you, not someone else. Own your style, own who you are. That can kind of go with this. Sometimes we lose who we are. And the shadow work kind of helps us dig in and go in deep to discover, or maybe even rediscover that person that you truly are meant to be. And a lot of times we're afraid to be who we want to be. We're afraid we're going to be judged, or we're afraid people aren't going to like us, or we're afraid that, it's not cool. Being you is the coolest thing you can do. When I was in high school, I would not consider those of us that I hung out with to be the popular kids. To me, we were. To us, we were everything. But a lot of times we would be looked down upon. We were kind of like, our little grassy area was like the island of misfit toys. And what was great about that, and I'm not sure if they would agree with me or if they would just be mad at me for saying that, but what was so great about that through my eyes is that everybody was welcome. Everybody was welcome. We didn't care. People stopped in. Hey, how's it going? That's how I met new people. I met one person during PE tennis, and we were all so terribly bad that we just laughed so hard and we had a good time. And we actually got better together. We actually became some of the best ones on the court during PE, but we bonded over that. And then next thing I know, it's like, hey, want to come to lunch with me? It's like, yeah, let's meet my friends. And poof, that was the next 3 years of my life, because it was the school I started at in my second year of high school. But good morning, baby sibling. So, Do the shadow work. Be who you are. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Everybody else is taken, okay? Here we go. It's like a line, right? I mean, be the champion of your own life. Do not quit. Be the champion of your own life. Do not quit. It's the house cup. So here we have shadow work. Okay, these are all great for self-care. Doing the shadow work can help you discover or rediscover the person you are meant to be, and be that person. Don't be ashamed to be that person. And be the champion of your own life. Don't quit. Okay? So, and so I love those. I'm going to stop there. And, because I think those really do tell a very good story in such, a short amount of cards. So let's get to the, let's get to the self-care ritual deck. Oh, baby siblings on. Baby sibling. Happy hump day. Hump day, hump day, hump day. I don't know why, but that girl loves that. So, wow. One card already flew out. It's interesting because that card, I had some seriously weird dreams last night, but it played out like a weird movie. But I'll put that one right there. And then I also have the stress reduction essentials for those who are just popping on now. But all right, if nothing pops out, I'm just going to shuffle them, and then we'll cut the deck in half and pull from there. All right, and we'll go as far as we feel we need to. So, all right. Actually, those all came out, so maybe that's it. All right, so this is Self-Care Wednesday. The first one that came up was a dream journal. A lot of times when we're stressed out or we're going through magnificently crappy things, we'll have dreams. And a lot of times we just think, oh God, I had the weirdest dream. I can't believe this. Sometimes they're meant to be so weird so you can interpret them, but it's not always that easy. However, if you are a person who loves to journal, and even if you're not, it really is a good practice, because it helps get so much out of you. It's your own personal space. It's your own, it's almost like your own confessions, right? But nobody has to see it if you don't want them to. And if you're worried someone's going to see it down the line, you can just throw it away, or you can lock it up. You can do whatever you want with it, But with dream journals, I really, really like these too, because a lot of times we'll just write it down, and you can look it up. Just put in dream. There's one place that I use a lot called dreammoods.com, or you can just type in dream journals, and they even sell books for these things where they kind of give you the textbook idea of what it means. But a lot of times when we start a journal, sometimes it might make sense. You'll think like, oh my God, this is dumb. Why am I? And then it might click something in your head that might be something that, could be hurting you, could be bothering you, and that you need to push through. And a lot of times that's what the dream journals help with. They can also be prophetic. Okay, like your brain, you're out there floating around the universe while you're sleeping, right? So let's see what's next. Put those right on top. Oops. Oh, that was smart. I put them back in the box and I couldn't grab them. So, watch a movie. This is, okay, I really like this one. A lot of people are like, what does self-care have to do with watching a movie? It's getting out of your own head for a little while. It's removing yourself from whatever's stressing you out, giving you that chance to reboot, whatever kind of movie you like, horror, rom-com, thriller, crime movies. Whatever gets you out of your head so that you can reset and come at it from a different angle, whatever it is that's bothering you. Have you ever stopped, like when people say, when you're starting to feel angry, take a few deep breaths, or count to 10, or do this, count until you don't feel the anger anymore. But have you ever really stopped when you realize you can feel that ick coming up? And then you just stop and you take that really deep breath. And, for people who do mindful breathing, you'll breathe in the positive, you exhale the negative, and you can actually start to feel the difference. I know people would think that's hokey. I used to think that was hokey. And then one day I actually paid attention to my breathing, and I was like, wow, okay, I see it. I get it now. Because what it's doing is it's putting a halt on on this growing anger that might be inside of you. It's kind of stopping it in its tracks. And it's giving you the opportunity to change that around. If you start to feel like that breathing is going okay, and then all of a sudden you're just like feeling that anger again, take another deep breath. This is why a lot of people say count to 10 or 20, or count down. A lot of times counting to 10 is so normal, but when you count, 10 to 1, you really have to think about it, right? Or 20 to 1, you have to think about it. Or even counting backwards from 100. Like someone's going to knock you out during dental surgery or something. This is a very, very quick way to help, turn that frown upside down. So music, just like movies, listen to music, it starts to take you away, right? It's like the bubble bath bubbles. It's like Calgon, but it's music. So I know that's a Wayback Machine reference, but music can help too. It was like I was saying, when I was in high school, a lot of times if I had a bad day, I throw on the heaviest thing I owned as far as music goes. And I don't know why. I think it was just the drum beats in the back would really start to soothe me. I know it sounds crazy, but it turns out there is a thing called binaural beats, binaural. And there's so many different frequencies that these things go through, and they actually work with the frequencies and the energy in your body. It's not a hokey thing. In fact, the other day I was watching the morning news and they started talking about it, and I was like, dude, I've been doing that for years. It's like, you're just discovering this now. But then I realized, people have been doing it years before I ever even heard of it, including the next card, sound healing with the crystal bowls. Or there's the Tibetan bowls, which are the little metal ones. You bang on it and then you can push the stick around. And in fact, I have one right here, sitting under my crayons. That's right, I color when I'm stressed. But one of these, and then it comes with its little thing to sit on. You just click it with your, I don't want to do it because it's right next to the mic, and then you just kind of spin it around. Mine is from one of the boxes I got, so it's the moon phases. But these things, believe it or not, can help too. In fact, if you sit down and you do it mindfully, watch what your body does when you tap that thing, especially if you make it louder and you start going around. Sometimes I get so in a meditative state that I literally start missing the bowl because my eyes are just drifting close. So sound healing, sound baths can be amazing. And as more and more people discover these things, people are creating businesses out of it. I believe, I thought I saw it on an article, but I think I also saw it on Twitter, out here in LA, John Warwick's son, and I don't know what it's called, I do apologize, but you can find her on Twitter, and I'm sure you can find him through her. But it's like they do a sound bath for you. So it's almost like a massage, but for your soul, Hydrate. I did not hydrate enough yesterday, and I'm feeling it today. But hydrate. Everybody, a lot of times people say, oh my God, why is your skin so soft? Why are you so glowy? It's water. It's water. If you can pinch your skin and it does not snap back like that, you are dehydrated. That's right. If you can't see, look, you can't really see it because, it's on the camera, but usually when I'm fully hydrated, my skin just pops back, but I can see it here just a little. It's slow to go back to its smooth state. That means you are dehydrated. Your skin is dehydrated. In fact, I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I swear to you, when I drink the amount of water I'm supposed to drink, my lips get fuller. I know, it's not just a lipstick. Who knew? But let's pull one more of these and then we'll go to the stress reduction cards. Journal. See, we started with the dream journal. We finished with the journaling. Guys, I know, you see it in TV shows all the time. People joking and saying, oh my God, you really want me to do homework, don't you? You really want me to do this, that, and the other. I have 2 regular, grade school notebooks. And I picked my favorite colors out of them at the time that I just filled with everything. I did not hold back. I put down every feeling I had in that moment. If I started to feel kind of ramped up a bit, it's kind of like, And I'd go to my journal, because a lot of times when we get angry for no reason, something's trying to come up and out. If we get sad and we're not sure why, we're just saying, like, what is happening to me? Something's trying to come up and out. Maybe you snap at someone and you have no idea why, and you're not hungry and you're not PMSing. So you're like, what is happening? In fact, yesterday, and I tried to journal about it and I couldn't. So almost immediately I called baby sibling to help talk me through this. And when I was doing the perspective yesterday, we pulled some cards and we got to the card of discernment. Now, I'd seen this card the other day in something else I was watching, and it turns out it's like, wow, I have this deck, and I didn't think I'd see it again. In fact, what was even funnier is after I talked to her, I was watching a TV show, and they were talking, there comes the word again, discernment. I went blank. I talk about judgment. I talk about our judgment, making choices, making decisions, and I couldn't articulate anything for this word. And I promised yesterday that if I figured it out, I would talk about it today. And she helped me figure it out. She says, well, you're basically, to sum it up the best way I can, is that, she's probably giggling on the other side, like, how's she gonna talk about this one? But basically what I can sum up is now that I'm in this new chapter of my life, things are going to start happening because I'm allowing myself to go with the flow. Now, I know that's not everybody's thing, but it's my thing. And by allowing, by giving my trust to my higher power, by giving my faith and belief to my higher powers, and even the universe, yes, I believe in the universe too, I'm realizing that I'm going to be put in situations that might really test me. And I'm going to have to use my best judgment, or I'm going to have to discern how to handle these things. I'm going to have to really kind of look at it. I'm going to have to take that step back, take that deep breath sometimes, because we don't know what situations we're going to be put in. We don't know what things are going to come at us. We don't know what trolls are going to, try to step in your way to knock you off your platform. Right? I mean, we all, so I don't mean to bring this up, but we all know what happened just over a week ago at the Oscars. But one of the things that I picked up from that later in the broadcast was what was said that Denzel Washington said. Okay. And I love this. And it's kind of something I've been hanging on, because it's something I've needed really to kind of get me through the last week, because I have been kind of closing up that last volume of my life. I have been realizing that I can carry my story without having to carry the pain and still give it, the proper respect and care that it needs. It's my story. It's always going to be my story. Everything that's happened in my life is my story, but that doesn't mean I have to carry the pain of it anymore. I thought I did. And that's why it's been a struggle to get better. That's where a lot of the resistance has come from, because I thought I had to feel that pain in order to understand what other people were feeling. But it's like, no, I've lived that pain. I don't need to carry it with me. I can go off and live this amazing, fantastic journey that's ahead of me without having to carry that anchor of dread behind me, without having to drag it. And what Denzel Washington had said, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact quote, but was like, because we know he's a very, he fought, how do I put this? Why am I struggling? He believes in God, okay? But he says, basically, when you were at your highest, the devil's going to try to knock you down. And no matter what you believe in, when you were feeling at your greatest, if you let down your guard, you're opening yourself up to bad energy. Even if you don't believe in a higher power, even if you don't believe in a source or even the universe, and it's just kind of you, that's your doubt. That's your lack of faith. That's your fear. And those things are always going to try to knock you down for whatever reason. If you do have a higher power, you do have a higher source, you do believe in the universe, you can think of it as negative energy trying to hold you back. Or the devil trying to hold you back. Or the baddies trying to hold you back. Whatever it is that you believe in, whatever it is that causes you to lose faith in yourself, to lack faith in yourself, And this is why, for me, journaling helps, because it helps me get all that out of my head. And sometimes when you put it down on paper or even on your computer, whatever you prefer to journal with, it makes it real, and it gives you something to see that you can combat, that you can fight, that you can do to stand up for yourself and protect yourself. I was just telling baby sibling yesterday, on Monday, I cleared off this whiteboard I have in my room of all these different things that I thought I needed to be, who I needed to be, and realizing that they're all me, but I was looking at it from the wrong perspective. The only thing I kept on there was a message that baby sibling left for me when I flew her out here a couple years ago for her 30th birthday. I still have her message on that whiteboard, but everything else I changed. I put gratitude up there. I reminded myself I'm the warrior of my life, but I'm also the healer of my life. You know, I want to protect everyone I can protect. I want to heal everybody I can protect, or heal everyone I can heal. But in order to do that, I have to make sure these things are set in me first. She says, do you really? Yes, I do. I always send you a picture afterwards. I literally still have that in the same spot, her writing. I put a little circle around it so I wouldn't erase it, but it's been there all this time. Because it starts out with, you are amazing. And sometimes we need to hear that from other people in order to believe it in ourselves. Or at least I did at the time. You know, there was a time when I felt like I needed everybody's validation because I couldn't give it to myself. Now I keep it up there because it's just a really sweet memory. And it reminded me of a fun time. You know, and a time when even her life was a little bit easier before her life changed. And, but also she's my baby sibling. You know, I mean, if somebody else wrote me a message on there, I totally keep it. But it reminds me who I am and how far I've come. Okay, so I know, like I said, I know people don't like to journal, but you know, you don't have to buy a fancy journal. I mean, I thought, I'm going to get a fancy journal, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, and I have a million of them sitting in my room. And then, believe it or not, after trying to journal in those things, it was a regular notebook, college rule notebook. The next one was wide rule because I liked the color so much I didn't realize I got the big lines. But it worked for me too. I decorated the front. Maybe I'll show it to you tomorrow because I think I put it up. So I don't know where it is currently. But I did it. I decorated the front. And at some point I thought, well, maybe I'll burn it. I'll throw it away. I'll do something. So far I've kept it. And I think part of me has kept it because even though I haven't read back through them, they're a reminder to me of how far I've come in such a short amount of time. Those 2 notebooks were my shadow work. I started it the first time my dad was in the hospital from an ill-advised move on his own part. So he's better now. And then the second one when he ended up in the hospital for COVID. I know. And he's fine. He's fine. So, you know, it was spooky and scary, both accounts. But I mean, my dad's relatively a healthy person, so I'm grateful for his stubborn will. But like I said, it helped me go in deep because it's like, you know, he's my last parent. And I think a lot of times you just sit there and go, oh God, it's like your life, literally, even though it's not your life that's in peril, your life flashes before your eyes. Like, what's this life going to be like if? And I didn't want to think about those if. And I thought, why am I scaring myself? And then I realized I had to do shadow work. And I'd only heard of shadow work through, you know, the metaphysical channels. But it turns out it was from a psychologist or a psychiatrist, Carl Jung. Hello? I mean, he dug deep. He dug deep. And he knew people had to dig deep to heal themselves. Because the only person that can truly, truly get you to your healing place is you. People can help you. People can sit with you. People can hold your hand. People can give you all of theirs in the world. I just say that because that's baby siblings in my thing. They can, you know, hug you, but they cannot heal you. They can heal you with their love or give you the healing love you need to draw upon to heal yourself. Because ultimately, you have to heal yourself. When it comes to all your emotional stuff, that's all you. And I think a lot of times we just stay, for me, we were talking about how sometimes, I should just get out there and live. And I realized I sent her a message yesterday, and it came to my attention that part of the reason I was just kind of had to throw the brakes on, and I didn't even throw my own brakes on, but the brakes were thrown on for me, was because I was ignoring all these things. I wasn't paying attention to what I needed to do to heal. And although these last, 2.5 years have been hard emotionally, and in a way spiritually, and in all other ways, financially, everything across the board, was because I needed to see what I was made of. I needed to see my worth. I needed to dig deep and sit down with myself and realize, hey, the only person that's going to push you out of this is you. And I had to find a way to do that. I had to find the strength without constantly going backwards, without falling on my ass every single time. Because I would resist myself. It's like a second me would come up and just push me. Like, nope, I'm not going to let you heal. Until I finally stood up for myself. Surprisingly, to myself. And I went in and I found that inner child. It's like I mentioned, I think last week or the week before, somebody had posted on Twitter, how do you get rid of your inner child? And the first thing I thought is, no, you have to nurture it. You have to heal it. And I thought, well, maybe that's just me. So I read some of the comments, and you know what? Almost everybody said the same thing in one way or another. You don't get rid of it. You have to find a way to heal it, to nurture it, to become one with it, to help it understand. Because a lot of times that inner child is that anxiety, that fear, that depression, that doubt, that low self-esteem, that low confidence. It's that part of us that kind of stays hidden. And I also mentioned at the time, I think it was actually last Wednesday during self-care, that I remember when I went deep the first time and I started thinking, I got to find this inner child and start healing her. And I started journaling. And in my head was the saddest picture of this little me sitting in a dark, dark room with no windows and a locked door with maybe just a tiny little light, because there was so much darkness in there, so much pain, so much fear from thinking, how long am I going to be stuck in here? And then, of course, when I opened that door, that's why I ended up calling, that book, The Feral Floof 1.0, because in my mind, when I opened that door, that inner child shrunk back into the corner like a feral animal. Like, oh, get away from me. I don't know you. I'm going to fight my way if you try to touch me. And so it was a process until I was finally able to get that inner child out into the light, out of that door and into the light. And I had to do a lot of apologizing to myself for that. I had to do a lot of forgiving of myself for that. But what I also learned, don't shame yourself. There's a difference between forgiving yourself and shaming yourself. I had to forgive myself because all these things kept coming to my attention and I kept ignoring it because I was afraid to deal with it. But I would also shame myself. And I had to forgive myself for shaming myself. If you shame yourself, you are not going to get better. You are just literally putting yourself down, putting yourself down, putting yourself down. And you don't want to do that. You truly do not want to do that, because all you're doing is you're hurting yourself. It's like you're just re-injuring that inner child. The first thing you have to do is learn how to see you. That's where self-care comes in. You have to learn how to see who you are in the mirror, not just what not just your reflection, but actually look deep into yourself and see you. I challenged myself the other day because one of the cards I think that came up that says, you really have to kind of just be authentic, be vulnerable. And I looked in the mirror, and I don't always like who I see as a reflection, not necessarily internally, but externally. And I realized that was still part of something that I had to heal. Because I need to love myself exactly as I am in this moment, who I am, what I look like, and know that if, I want to make changes, I'm the one that has to make them. But that I can't make them unless I love myself, unless I take care of myself, unless I think I'm worth it and know I'm worthy. That's all I want for everybody. That's why I've dedicated. I mean, the days around Self-Care Wednesday have changed a lot of times, but Self-Care Wednesday has been in place for, I would go out on the limb to say, at least over a year now. It's the one thing I've always dedicated to. And the reason I put it on a Wednesday is for those of you who work those Monday through Friday jobs, it's right in the middle of the week. Your first 2 days back to work, which usually are the busiest, are out of your way. Now you're at the hump day. Baby sibling, I got you. But you're at that hump in the week. And now you're sliding towards the weekend. And what better things to learn than these? To have that self-care. So, oh, wow. Okay, I swear to you, you guys saw me shuffle this. All right? Now look, it's like literally somebody sitting there drawing a heart, recognizing emotions as they arise. Recognizing emotions as they arise. Being aware of your emotional triggers and being able to notice when emotions arise will help you to soothe and stop unwanted emotions in their path. So again, being aware of your emotional triggers and being able to notice when someone, God, my brain, sorry, being aware of your emotional triggers and being able to notice when emotions arise will help you to soothe and stop unwanted emotions in their path. Self-care practice. Become aware of the situations in which your unwanted emotions may become triggered. Write down a list of what triggers them. That's a really good idea. I had to do that. When you start to notice one of these trigger situations occurring, or you feel unwanted emotions arising, take a step back and observe. Notice the emotion and notice where you are and what you are doing. Allow yourself to not get attached to the unwanted emotion. Becoming aware of your emotions as they arise will train you to notice them as a possibility, but not something that is out of your control. Choose how you want to feel. Yesterday I mentioned I have a Post-it note up on my wall, right behind my computer and the camera, that says, choose to be happy. Now, it used to say, I choose to be happy, but a lot of times the I would get in my way. Because it's like, yeah, it's like I'm telling myself this. But by putting up there for me, choose to be happy, it's like somebody else is saying this to me. Like, you have to choose to be happy. Because a lot of times I let myself down. There will be a time when I'm going to be able to put a sticky note above my computer in my workstation and say, you know what? I choose to be happy. And it's not going to be a command or an affirmation. It's going to be something that just flows off my tongue because I choose to be happy. Like I'm telling someone else, how do you do that? How do you do that, Shelley Marie? I choose to be happy. But right now I'm in a place where I need someone to tell me, you have to choose to be happy. So when, your emotions arise, recognize them. Write down what you think might be triggering you. And sometimes we won't even know. It just comes out of the blue. But when you start to feel agitated over something that you shouldn't be agitated or upset or angry about, and it starts to come up, like, that is probably a very good sign that it is a trigger. That it's something that needs to be handled and something that needs to be dealt with right away. I'm still excited that came up because I feel like everything I've just said before that card is completely validated. So, support of family. Now, I know across the board from things I've seen, situations I've, been privy to, like looking inside the window into the lives of other people. Family is who you choose. Okay? Just because somebody's blood doesn't mean that they're going to support you. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm just saying across the board, no examples, not thinking about anything. I know people who don't have a lot of family who turn to other people. Older sibling doesn't have a lot of family left. I mean, she was an only child. She only has like 3 cousins. I know, who only has 3 cousins? But I know. And then I met somebody who only has 2 cousins. But yeah, believe it or not, and they all live far away. So basically, her family is my family. I mean, my cousins will ask me, how's Sis Laura? Because she truly is my soul sister. And I'm fortunate that the other one I consider my soul sister to be is actually DNA. Those two actually look like they could be related. Neither one of them look like they could be related to me. But a supportive family is your community, your tribe, the people that you choose to hunker down with in life. And there will be people that will come in, there will be people that will go, there might be people who will come back. But the people that you feel you can be the most vulnerable with in a very trusting, loving way, that's kind of like your family. You know, people say they have work family. Sometimes they do. Baby sibling says, when people say they don't have lots of cousins, I'm always like, what is that like? Right? When I first met older sibling, we were just talking about family, and she was just like, yeah, she's all, my mom only had me, and my mom only had her sister, and my dad only has his sister, and his sister only had one kid, and my aunt had four, two of which have, sadly passed away. And I said, so, but at the time, she still had 3 cousins on her mom's side. And I said, you have 4 cousins? And I'm like, you're joking, right? I mean, literally, I was like, you're joking, right? And she's like, no. And she's like, why? How many do you have? I'm like, well, not counting my step cousins, I have 25 first cousins that I can think of. And at the time that I said that, I didn't even know I had another one. So it's more like 26 now. And it's just like, whoa. I just thought that was normal. I thought having a lot of cousins was normal, but apparently it's not. So, but anyways, supportive family. All right. Families are an amazing support resource. To have them there for us when we are in need is such a gift. Your family, whether biological or chosen, is a community and a safe space. When you think about it, when you get married or have a partner or a relationship with someone, that's your new family too. Everybody always thinks family is DNA, but it's like, think about it. Your parents probably do not share the same DNA. Right? I say probably because family trees just go way back. But they probably, your parents are coming together, creating you, which obviously opens up 2 sides of a family to you, but they become each other's family, right? Whoever your parents are. And or even your grandparents, right? You can go down the line to how all these trees just kind of do this. They interlock. And, you get branches and branches and branches and little leaves coming off in different things. Older sibling and I were watching a TV show yesterday, and 2 McDonald's walk into a room. I know, sounds like a joke, right? But 2 McDonald's walk into a room, and he says, I'm a very distant branch. But, hey, go Scotland. A lot of clans up there, tribes, clans, I don't know whatever they call it. So, when you feel overwhelmed, reach out to your friends, your besties, your family. Let them be there for you, okay? Because that's what they want to do. They want to be there for you. Let's see. Let's pull one. Oh, look, mandalas. That one had a lighthouse, so it made me think of my mother. My mom loved lighthouses. I don't know where that came from either. She doesn't know where that came from, but I think somebody gave her like a little lighthouse ornament from one of their trips, and she just fell in love. And that kind of became her thing. Elvis and lighthouses. I recently inherited all her Elvis stuff. My father asked me, he's like, do you want to take this home? It's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but okay. So, let's see. Here's the last one. Oh, it's perfect. Community of friends. I'm trying to figure out what that is. They look like little bottles in a circle. I don't know. Community of friends. Social. Hi, tongue twister. Social support. Social support is crucial in maintaining good mental health, positive social networks, and to enhance resilience. Your community helps you to prevent sensations of loneliness, increase happiness, improve self-confidence, and encourages you to be your best self. Whom you choose to surround yourself with has a large impact on the way you view yourself and your future. So self-care practices. Make a list of friends who make you smile. If you feel stressed or uneasy, visit one of your friends for a drink, a walk, or a chat. Go to a social event or start a new hobby with a friend, such as dance or yoga. Your community is one of your greatest resources. I love that. I actually got to meet some old coworkers last night for dinner, and it was such a nice time. I had a little bit of anxiety because one of the people that was there, we kind of had a very shaky friendship, but I had a great time last night. And part of that was because I told older sibling, I said, I threw out a little prayer about it, and I did some gratituding, and I thought, I just want tonight to be, fun and exciting, and, catching up with people I haven't seen in a while. And when I called her, I think she was a little worried that I was going to be like, oh my God, it was stressful. But it wasn't. It wasn't. It was such a fun dinner, and who doesn't love a peanut butter milk stout? I know, when I choose something over Guinness, it's because I don't get it very often. But oh yes, if you can ever have that, oh my God, it's to die for. And that one was so on point last night. So anyways, today I'm having coffee with a friend, and what I'm trying to do for myself is to remind myself to put myself back out in the world, to not just kind of sit around and do nothing, to not be in this world. Tomorrow I'm hoping to go to the beach because, simply put, it's going to be hella hot here. And I thought, you know what? I need a good dunk in the ocean. I know for some, I think the only way I can truly put it is this way. When I first came into this world, I came in not so much a precarious fashion, but they could tell there was something not right with my heart. And it was something that had to be checked, and this, that, and the other. I mean, I was okay. I was fine. But they knew eventually it would have to be picked, or, whatever. But my mom was also very Catholic, so I was baptized within a month of my birth. And I feel like that was the beginning of that chapter of my life. And now that I'm in this new, heading down, I keep saying heading towards this new chapter, I just need to stop and choose to be existent not existent. I don't want to just exist. I have to choose to be in this new chapter and to live it like it was meant to be lived. And that's my plan. That's my plan now, to fully immerse. That's the word I was looking for. To fully immerse myself in to this new chapter of my life, to know that I can carry my story without carrying my pain and still give it justice, still honor it the way it should be honored. That includes the people that I've lost in the last decade. That was a lot. That includes the pain I had to let go, the trauma I had to let go, the bad memories, the things I'm still trying to understand and work through. Some things I can't work through alone. But the things that I can, I'm doing my best to do it. And I'm doing my best to honor that. And so I feel like, maybe dunking myself in the ocean will be a nice little way to just kind of remind myself that, hey, you're immersing now. I mean, life is like a big, vast ocean. You don't know where you're going to drift off to. You don't know what ports you're going to land in. You don't know what lands you're going to visit. You're just kind of out there, drifting like that little bottle with the letter in it, right? I think it's important that we embrace our chapters, that we know what we want in life, but to also leave that room for all the exciting surprises that can come our way. If we hold on too tight to one idea, we might miss things, and we might miss what's important. It could be like, oh, I'm the captain of a boat, but you know what? You accidentally turn off all the lights, right? Which is kind of like isolating, because you have a set course. You know that you're not going to get lost. But a boat that might have seen you or might have needed you, you might have just passed right by, and they may not have seen you because your lights were all out. And I know it's not the greatest metaphor to use, but it's kind of the same idea. When we're not paying attention, good things might pass us by. because we're so focused. We're so laser focused on one particular idea. And that's how I was for a long time. I mean, for me, a lot of it was, I think, subconsciously just getting better. And because I had so much control over my life, I forgot how to live my life. My quote for today was, for the girls that I share a list with, was from Oscar Wilde. And it says, "To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people just exist." I don't want to just exist anymore. I want to live this life. I want to see what's going to come at me. Come at me, bro. I want to see what's going to come at me. I want to see what is meant for me, what is meant for my life. And I don't want to be afraid anymore, because fear has done nothing for me but hold me back. And I know that if it's held me back, it's holding someone else back, which is why I think it's very important that we practice our self-care. It's very important that we practice that self-love, that self-worth, that self-respect, all those self things. When you start to learn to love yourself and you're not ashamed of it, you're going to see how different you start to see the world. And, a lot of people may say, that's bullshit, whatever. That's okay. I've been where you're at. I sat there and said, you know what? Isn't self-love kind of like, just being all about, it's about taking care of yourself. Sometimes I think we let other people get into our head and says, oh, self-love, well, I know what you mean. No, it's about taking care of yourself. And if it means that, then you're taking care of yourself too. Didn't say how. It's just one of the aspects of taking care of yourself, right? But it's self-love. It's self-care. It's reminding yourself that you are worthy of this beautiful life you've been given. You are worthy of the wonderful things that come at you. You're worthy of somebody taking you out on a date for a fancy dinner. Right? Someone's laughing. I know. Girl talk. What can you say? But, I think that was my auntie. So embarrassing. But at least it was pretty obvious what I meant. But, hey, you know what? It is what it is, right? We're humans. We have needs. And, and if you can, sometimes when you're in my situation, you just got to do it yourself. And yeah, I used to have shame about that. I would have been like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Does anybody remember a couple of months ago when we were doing the self-care or ritual deck and sex came up? Oh my God, I nearly lost my fucking mind. And then I had to do a whole things to think on Thursday about it. So it was just like, but look how far I've come in a short amount of time. It's like, I don't care. I put things out there not to be TMI, but because I am literally doing a live show. And the point of this live show, the Aloha perspective, is to show people things from my perspective so that they don't feel ashamed of their own. They don't feel lost or invisible in their own. This live is about being seen, not me, other people. It's about showing people how to feel seen, how to not feel invisible, how to put yourself back out into the world. One of the things I told baby sibling yesterday in a message I left her was that, I don't know what happened to me. I used to be considered, literally, I did not give myself this title. My friends used to call me a social butterfly. And I went, what do you mean? They're all, well, you just flit from group to group to group. Because in our hockey group, I knew so many other groups around it. And I miss that. Not so much the being able to flit from group to group to group, but I miss that community, that friendship, the vast people, groups, the varying groups of people that I know, even outside of sports. I love sports, but I have friends outside of there. I have friends who think they're like, oh my God, I don't know how you handle sports. It's like, well, we just do. But we have other things we talk about that we visit over. So allow yourself. I'm going to read that quote one more time and we're going to finish with that. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people just exist. Oscar Wilde. All right? Oscar Wilde was definitely a man ahead of his time. Way ahead of his time. Just kind of like I think Edgar Allan Poe in his writing was way ahead of his time. People didn't understand it. People weren't ready for it yet. And they both kind of paid the ultimate price for it, in a way. But they're sad and lonely. I wouldn't say sad, but they're pained existences. You know, I mean, they may have had good times in their lives, but there was a lot of pain, I think, in my opinion, underneath a lot of that. In fact, Oscar Wilde's been coming up a lot. I might have to look into that. Anyways, one last time. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people just exist. Okay? So, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day today. Take care of yourselves. Do what you need to do. Self-care, self-love. You are worth it. All right. What did I say? I always write it on my arm until I get it right, until I remember it, until it's second nature. I am worth it. Okay? Go into the mirror and repeat it until you actually see yourself, not your reflection, when you see you. And believe it or not, there is a point, if you're really paying attention to it, it's going to click and you're going to see it and you're going to feel it. You're going to be like, oh my God, I get it. They're not just words. If you say it enough and you say it with enough feeling, like, I am worth it. I am worth it. See, I felt it in my heart just now because I meant it. Keep doing that. You're going to feel it. You're going to see it. And eventually you're going to start to believe it. All right. So I will see everybody back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. California time. I've been trying to say PDT, which is Pacific Daylight Time, but it just does not fit me. So anyways, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time tomorrow. Things to think on Thursday. Facebook Live. It is public. Anybody can watch. I do upload these later to YouTube, so you can watch it there under the Aloha perspective. Or I also share them to Twitter under GoalieFan1973 or Shell Bell's Quest. Right. So, again, have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. And one last time, practice self-care and take care of yourselves. Have a great day.